Hello, everybody, and welcome to the September 10th, 2018 edition of the Ephrom Josine Show. I am your host, Ephrom Josine, and ladies and gentlemen, I am happy. I am officially happy. Do you want to know why I'm happy? Because there is nothing left to cover with the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. They're probably still going on. They're probably going to go on for the rest of my life. But there's nothing left to cover with them. I promise. That is, unless he said something stupid that I haven't covered yet, but he probably has. But what's the worst he could have said? Oh, God, he did, didn't he? To cover that. Okay, fine. And I've realized at this point I'll probably never stop covering Brett Kavanaugh. Even after his hearings are over, we'll probably be able to talk about him daily at this rate. Because it just won't end. Either confirm the guy or don't. I don't care anymore. Has he been confirmed yet? So Senator Kamala Harris asked Brett Kavanaugh his personal opinion on the decision that legalized gay marriage in 2015 Oberfell. What did he have to say? Well, he had to say a lot, but at the same time, nothing. Because instead of answering yes or no, he went into this long rant about how he respects judicial precedents and agrees with something I don't know. He starts rambling about how in the Masterpiece Bake Shop case, Kennedy wrote that the days of discrimination against homosexuals is over. In a case that said it's okay to discriminate, but okay. And that's the precedent that has been set. What is Kavanaugh's opinion? I don't know, because he didn't actually say it. Harris asked multiple times for Kavanaugh's opinion, and he wouldn't give it. Why? Is it negative? Would it make him more likely to lose the court? But he couldn't just lie. I don't know why he couldn't. He's a Republican. That's all he ever does. I'm sorry. I'm just so sick of talking about Brett Kavanaugh. You know what? I'm going to talk about someone who always puts me in a good mood. Who it's always fun to make fun of. So as of right now, I made sure it's on my screen. It's Opinion. Why the Left has been so desperate to sell socialism. It's on Louder with Crowder. It's written by Courtney Krischoff. The most dishonest hack in right-wing journalism. Let's just read. Now, first off, Democrats have not been selling socialism, nor has the left. Especially not in the U.S. There are some European nations that you could probably argue, but not in the U.S., no. Over the weekend, Jim Carrey launched his unofficial cry for help. He appeared on Bill Maher's show to wax insane about socialism, saying we need to stop apologizing for socialism and just embrace it. Okay, he's a rich guy. If he wants to pay for these programs, that's fine. Like a crack whore embraces a dirty needle. That's not how crack works. You smoke it, you don't inject it. You're thinking of heroin. But okay. Okay, add the crack work on. And you didn't even do it good. Congratulations, Courtney. Here's your clap. If you haven't watched a train wreck, you can find the video here, though watching the video may ruin your opinion on Carrey's previous acting accomplishments, so be warned, but you people aren't snowflakes. Celebrities are their uglier counterparts on Capitol Hill, have hit the acceleration on pushing socialism. No, they haven't. Surely you've noticed, I look at reality, so no, unless you consider... I like how, by the way, the idea of... These are the same people who reported it nonstop when the Prime Minister of Denmark called out Bernie Sanders for saying they were socialist. All we want to do is put in their ideas. If they're so capitalist, let's put their ideas in. Let's be a capitalist nation while we put their ideas in. What's wrong with that? I saw this tweet once. It was, it was like, I think it was making fun of Ben Shapiro, where it's like, listen, okay, Denmark is not socialist, it's very capitalist. Okay, let's implement our ideas. Mao, is that you? You see what I mean? It's just so silly of an argument, but let's continue on. Their popular push for Alexandria Cortez, I'm not reading out their full fake name for her, the bug-eyed beauty on the left, but another spirit animal on the socialist totem. Those of us on the right have pushed Ocasio-Cortez for nearly the same reason as those on the left. We too want to expose what socialism really is. You're no different from Bill Maher saying, bring on the recession. I'm sorry, but it's true. What seems like an appealing package on the outside, but emptiness within. Oh God, not emptiness. Not nebulous concepts that don't mean anything. But Jim Carrey upped the ante this weekend by insisting the debate is over and no more apologizing for socialism. Coincidentally, Jim Carrey has amused a rumored $150 million via capitalism. We should improve society somewhat. Yet you take part in society. Curious. I am very intelligent. Now he's set and ready, with more money than he could spend in a lifetime of controlling his face into nightmarish ways. It's time for you to suck it up. Make sure you plump your favorite dog just in case you need a snack. Actually, I think Carrey said since he's a rich person, he'd be more than willing to pay for a lot of these programs. This is, again, there was a Krang T. Nelson tweet today. It was, Jim Carrey, as a rich person, I should be paying more. Extremely Fox News grandpa voice. It's easy for you to say that. You're rich. Firstly, yes, people should continue to apologize for socialism, because socialism and its cousin, which has aged less gracefully, communism, has led to the insane, brutal regimes under the USSR, Mao, Castro, and Chavez. Chavez wasn't communist, but I'm nitpicking. To name a few, all of these regimes were initially praised by leftist elites and academics of America. Citation needed. Now, there was a while where people did think the USSR was going to do economically better due to its insane GDP growth after World War II. And by the way, that's one of the reasons you shouldn't be flaunting GDP around as if it means something. But then everyone realized those people were stupid. Because GDP doesn't mean anything. But even then, the USSR did actually have some success for a while just after World War II, when there were essentially only two markets, them and the US. If you bought something, you bought it from the USSR or the USA. Now, a lot of people pick the USA, don't get me wrong. But they were still a good competitor. Just like celebrities now with Venezuela. Here's looking at you, Sean Penn. Communism has led to the deaths of over 100 million people in the last 100 years. You do the easy math. So, yes, keep the apologies coming. But here's the takeaway from Carrey and Ocasio-Cortez, this recent desperate push to make socialism a thing. The left is pooping its depends over thoughts of another baby boomer generation. Capitalism is working fantastically. So well, Jim Carrey and Bill Maher are both backstroking cash a la Scrooge McDuck, which we all are for the record. You know, everyone is clearly as rich as Bill Maher and Jim Carrey. What? Jeff Bezos makes in 10 seconds what his workers make in a year. Do you really think that's not a problem with the system? Now, don't get me wrong, he certainly does deserve more than his employees. But if they're making the same in a year of what he makes in 10 seconds, you think he's really working an unquantifiable amount of times harder than them? We have entire generations of people, both millennials and Generation Z, who've never actually seen capitalist markets doing as well as they are now. It wasn't true capitalism. If you're a member of either generation, you know exactly of what I peck out on my laptop. For years, the left told us capitalism was a failure, socialism was the answer. No one actually said that. Up until now, we haven't lived through a very free market, having presidents like Bill Clinton, who said the era of big government is over, but okay. George W. Bush, followed by 8 years of Obama, 8 long years. Okay, we're still number, I think, 18 on the Index of Economic Freedom. So Obama's socialism was very bad. You know where Venezuela is? It's the second to last. You know where North Korea is? It's in last place. Cuba's in the bottom 10. We're the 18th freest nation, economically. So, if this isn't true capitalism, then what is at this point? Yes, yeah. With Trump following Obama, the left is terrified of Carter, followed by Reagan 2.0. A brief history on... Wait, for the record, these people never have looked up the savings and loans crash in their life. Go look up the savings and loans crash. You'll have some fun. A brief history on Reagan and Carter for those born after Reagan and Carter. When the baby boomer generation was young, people thought they wanted Carter for the same lofty socialist feels our current generation come praise. Actually, it was because they just got done with Nixon, who kind of lied to them a lot, and Carter wasn't lying to them. Then they went back to Reagan because they didn't like what they heard. But then Reagan came... And for that matter, what exactly did Carter nationalize? Let me think. Let me think of the main things during his presidency. Well, ignore the Iranian hostage crisis, which is probably why he actually did lose in 80, because that had nothing to do with economics. Let me think. The energy crisis was more a regression to the mean after Vietnam. We just got used to much more energy than the market would allow, but Carter never nationalized that. The gas crisis was caused by price fixing, which isn't even close to the same thing as nationalization. But okay. Suddenly people of the day realized they had more money in their pockets, except for the bottom 20% who got their taxes raised by 15%, and didn't have to wait in gas lines. We're starting to see the same phenomenon now. We were sold on socialism, told it was the way, the truth, and the life by who? But we're seeing the positive personal effects of free enterprise right now in our lives. We have more job opportunities, lower unemployment. What's the underemployment rate exactly? You gonna tell us that? And thanks to tax cuts, which weren't tax cuts, but I'll move on, we're keeping more of our own money. Because you and I have seen the contrast, Obama's economy versus Trump's economy, the left is afraid of losing the narrative. They're terrified, especially of Generation Z, the most conservative generation ever, which is odd because I thought Hogg was part of Generation Z, and they were just eating Tide Pods the entire time. It's good to know that once you eat Tide Pods, you become a conservative. Little known fact. Because I just made it up. Will be even more conservative once they get older. Hope meets change. Media can no longer throw words and slogans at socialism. What? They can no longer taint the idea of capitalism. They haven't. Media can't exactly lecture Generation Z about what socialism and capitalism is anymore, because we're living under successful capitalism. They said the same thing under Coolidge. Look at how well that turned out. I'm Ephrom, and good night.